Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Motionbuilder tutorials here at Brewhouse Art Studio. I am Brian Brewer and I have been away for quite some time. Just a lot going on. I'm currently in the middle of trying to ship Predator Hunting Ground. I left CIG, if you weren't aware, and I took a job over at Ilphonic, and so I moved from Star Citizen over to Predator, and it's pretty darn exciting, and I've been pretty busy. I hope everybody's staying safe out there with the whole COVID-19 and all, and social distance. I know I am, and it's kind of a mess here on my desk. I've got 2 keyboards, 2 mice, 2 tablets, 2 of everything because I have my work computer as I work from home, like a lot of other people are doing right now. But I figure I'm taking a break from all this animation that I've been doing. I know I've been working on the project, but I thought I'd do a quick tutorial. This is going to be a quick how to do Spline IK inside of Motionbuilder. And I'm not a super expert on this, but I kind of know how to muck my way around. And it's been a little while, but we're gonna see how it goes. And I'll probably have to hide my big fat head so you can see what's going on right up in that area right there. So we'll see how it goes. All right, so if you remember from one of my other tutorials where I was doing physics, I built this chain and I've got it rigged with some Spline IK. So if I grab this, I should be able to, on local settings, just rotate it. You can see what's going on here. So what I want to do is I want to put some Spline IK on this. And Spline IK is a little bit different than a chain IK. Chain IK is like what you would use in your arms and legs, or that kind of appendage. Spline IK is great for like tails and tentacles and ropes and that sort of thing. In fact, I kind of learned a little bit about this on the game that I'm currently working on because I had to do some rope animations of guys sliding down ropes and stuff. So it was kind of like a little refresher course for me on how to do this, and I figure I'd share with you what I figured out. All right, so first thing I want to do is I actually want to grab my chain, and I can do one of 2 things. I can come down here under elements, and let me switch over here. I can come down here to elements, and I can go to skeleton nodes, and I can just start creating skeleton nodes like I have in the past. Or I'm going to try a little experiment. I'm going to see if this works. I'm just going to grab this whole chain. I'm going to copy that and paste it, and go ahead and arrange from selection. And I'm going to just grab this, and I'm going to move this down here like so. Now I've got my duplicate chain. A lot faster than having to build a chain out and organize everything. If I grab this and I rotate this, you can see I now have just a duplicate set of joints. Now, next step is I need to actually create the Spline IK. So I'm going to go over here to, there's a couple ways you can do this. I'm going to go over to constraints. I'm going to select constraints, and I'm going to go and I'm going to find Spline IK, which is right down here at the very bottom behind this glass. Spline IK. I'm just going to drag it into my scene, and you can see it's actually brought up here under the constraint settings. If I open this up, got some constraints right there. And I'm going to create a Spline IK. So I want to grab the first joint in the chain, which is this. This is just a null, kind of like a root world. I'm going to grab this, which is technically the first joint in the chain. And I'm going to say first. I'm going to go grab the last joint. I'm going to say end joint. All right. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go to setup, which is the one tab over. And now we get to define a few properties, like how many control nodes do we want in a spline. You could have I think it's two. Like 2 is like top and bottom. Like one at the top, one at the bottom. 3 would be like 1, 2, and 3, and then 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So depending on what numbers you set number of control nodes to, will determine how many control nodes you have. Be warned, if you set a lot, yeah, you have a lot to play with, but man, that's a lot to keep track of when you're animating. So let's let me think. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna try 5 for now. I'm gonna see how it goes. I'm gonna say hit 5, and then you can say there's things like reverse twist, interpolation. Do I want cubic or linear segment? Oh, of course I clicked this and it built the nodes. Basically, it built it when I typed in that number. And let's say I want to go 6, you can see it created 6. I wanted like 3 nodes. For this, I'm going to create 5. Now notice these are pretty big. This is actually a very tiny chain in world space. So I'm gonna select these, and I'm gonna go to my properties, marker settings, and they're set to 800. 100 is default. I'm just gonna scale it down a little bit so I can see what's going on a little bit better. All right, there we go. That's better. So now I can say which axis do I want the axis to twist on. I'm guessing it's Y. Let's find out. Yeah, I'm going to say, let's try Y, because why not? All right, still not done yet. So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to go over to constraint settings. Chain 2. Yeah, okay, so by the way, I'm doing this on my duplicate chain, not my main chain. And I do recommend going in and renaming these to like proxy or something like that. It'll just make life a lot easier if you name things correctly to begin with. But we're kind of running fast and loose here. So, all right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click snap and lock. All right, so I don't know if you saw what happened. It actually flipped my joints around for some reason. I don't know why it does this. This is why I create a kind of like a proxy in between go through skeleton. All right, so now if I grab one of these nodes and I start to pull it around, you can see it's actually dragging that chain around. Pretty cool, huh? Now let's get that chain driving, or that chain of joints driving our actual prop, right? So I am going to go over. Just gonna hide my head here so you can see what I'm doing. All right, so I'm going to go over here and I'm going to mess up my thing. Let's go back to editing. Excuse me. If I cough, it's because of allergies, not because I'm infected. I hope. All right, so let's move this up. Looks like I already got some of this stuff set up from a while back, so I'm going to redo this just so you can see what I'm doing from scratch. I'm going to delete this. I'm going to confirm. To all. All right, so I create a folder, and then I'm going to start creating some constraints, and I'm going to create parent-child constraints, and I'm going to duplicate this, and I need to duplicate this one for every joint. So let's see, how many joints do we have here? It's 1 through 13, so let's do 13 joints. If you want to duplicate a whole lot of joints at the same time, you can grab a whole bunch of them and just say duplicate. Actually went to 15, but that's okay. I'm going to actually delete 14 and 15. Delete. And I'm going to delete the very first one I created. That's kind of my hacky solution to not having to renumber 13 different constraints. I'm I'm going to grab all these constraints and I'm going to drop it into that folder I created. So there we go. Dropped right into there. Now double click on that. Now I can start going in here and I can start matching these things up. And the reason why I like to make sure everything's named is because it's just going to make it, like I said earlier, so much easier. So parent, child. So this will be the child. Hold down X, drag, drop into child. This will be the parent. Drag, drop. And on to the next, number 2. And if you kind of, your mind wanders doing these repetitive actions, this will help keep you on track, knowing that my next one is 3, this one's 3, child, parent, 4, child, parent. I also like to arrange things in the schematic view. By the way, I'm using Motionbuilder 2018 right now. I have been using Motionbuilder 2020, and they have a really, really cool feature with the schematic view that I'm so happy that they created. I'll just tell you right now, there's a little, when you open up the schematic view, there'll be a little star up here, and that is a way to save your layout. So whatever you've done with your nodes in here, however you've arranged and positioned them, if they get moved or rearranged for any reason, if you've saved that layout, you can go and say click, and it will fix your layout and it'll put everything back to where you had it before. It's a really, really cool feature in 2020, and man, I wish it was in 2018. I need to install 2020 for here. And now that I've talked and distracted myself, I have to go, where am I at? Oh, I'm on parent, child, number 5. That means I need to grab number 5. Child, parent, number 6. Child, parent, number 7. Oh, I mixed my little things up. Let's fix it. All right, so I'm on number 9. And last one. All right. So as you see, all I did is fill it out, because what I can do, this is a great trick, is if you've put all your constraints into a folder, you can double click on that folder and it'll show you this view of your constraints. And what I want to do now, remember when I said I created the Spline IK, it twisted my joints? So the joints orientated here are no longer lined up with the joint here. So if I select this one, you can see the rotation is off, and it's kind of twisted in a weird way. Don't ask me why it does it. That's just what it does. And yeah, just very strange. I don't know why it does it. And that's kind of also again why I have a go between. So when I come over here, I'm going to say snap. And what I've done is I've set in that offset. Whatever that weird rotational offset is from the Spline IK, I've set that. And I'm going to hit lock all, so now it's locked, so I can't mess with it. Or some outside force doesn't mess with it and cause problems. Now, I should be able to just grab one of these, and I should just be able to animate my chain, just like so. And this is a really great way to like just do some fun animation, what have you. Let me pull this down. All right, so what can we do to make this interesting. So there's a lot of little tricks you can do to kind of like make it feel like it's attached to something or what have you. Let's put a little animation on here just for the heck of it. Let's see what we can do. I'm gonna hide the joints for now. Oh, by the way, it's created these right here in your schematic view. First, second, third, fourth, fifth. All right. I'm gonna set a key. Oh, let's position these first. All right, set that key. Let's go down a few frames. And let's do this. Set a key. All right. All right, copy this key, paste it here, grab those two, hit copy, paste, paste. All right, so I've got this kind of going back and forth. Now let's go fix some curves here. I'm moving it on the X, so that's what I'm dealing with. So here's my little little trick. I'm gonna take this and I'm just gonna scale this down. Scale this down. Let's see how this looks. Not too bad. I mean, it's just a test animation, right? Let's yeah, not too bad. I mean, I could add some other axes, wiggling and whatever, swinging, but it kind of gives you an idea of something that you can do, right? But here's something really cool that you can do with it, and I had this idea to do this animation. So let's see if we can do this. But first thing I need to do is I actually need to go in here and I need to delete all those curves. And then I need to zero this stuff out. All right, so I want to create a control node, and so I'm going to go over to elements, and I'm going to grab a marker. I'm going to just throw it in here. My marker. Erg. Put it up here. Remember, I don't like to scale markers like this if I can help it. It's always better to go to marker settings and scale it here, down here in the size. And since this is kind of like a root cog or root control, I'm gonna just make it wireframe, see through. Now, there's a couple ways I can do this. I think the way I'll handle it is I think I'll drag that, parent that into there. That way I can just drag everything around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this up here. Oh, this is cool too. So since I parented it like this, I could actually swing it around and position it into place how I want it. And all right, so here's my idea. I want to make this chain fall, boom, hit a surface like a table, but kind of like be dangling, and then just kind of slide off. This will probably be a rudimentary animation, just because Don't really have a lot of time to spend tonight going over this tutorial, and just want to do something real fast for you all. By the way, if you're just catching me, go check out my YouTube, click on the link, subscribe or follow or whatever. Tell your friends about it if you enjoy these tutorials. I appreciate all the support. I'm just, by the way, it looks like I'm just screwing around, but I'm actually thinking. My brain is working out problems. Let's see, asset browser. Let's grab a cube. Drag that in here. Ooh, I bet I could put physics on this. I wonder if I could do that and like have physics drop it down and hit the table. Huh. No, Brian, you better not do this. You better just stick to the original tutorial. Stop coming up with ideas, darn it. All right. Let's pose this. Let's get a good shape going on here. This thing's gonna fall down. So if let's say I had a character swinging this thing around and I wanted him to like swing it around and then hold it over the table and drop it. What I'd probably do is I'd have this control node that I originally created, that'd be constrained to his hand, right? And he'd be swinging it around. And then when he gets to about this point, I'd have him let go, right? And that's probably where I would detach the control node from the character, like just turn off the constraint or animate it off. So it just kind of like stops, kind of like freezes in time. And then I would use these Spline IK to actually do the rest of the animation for me. But I wanted to show you how you could grab everything, rotate it, and get it into place. No, I don't think I like that. I think I'm gonna reverse my order. There we go. Like that. All right, let's set our key there. Wait, where's our key? Our key's way off in the negatives. All right, let me delete these things here. Go to frame 0. All right, cleaning up my scene a little bit. All right, ready for some rudimentary animation. So I want it to fall, so I was 1, 2, 3 seconds, or a second, 30 frames. Let's go to frame 10. And I'm going to take all these. I'm just going to drag them down to the table. Oh, here's a fun little thing. So in my scene, I have a shadow plane, but I have a table. Well, I like being able to see the shadow, so I can see when things are hitting or making contact. So I'm just going to copy and paste that shadow plane, and I'm just going to drag it up to the top of this box, and I'm going to scale it down. Excuse me. All that pollen. Went out to my car and it was caked with yellow pollen. All right. All right, so I just set a key. I'm just going to go individually, and I'm going to have each one of these hit like so. Being mindful of the chain itself, and it has volume, so I'll put this one right on the edge so I get a nice bend. All right. So I got my chain, it hit the table. It's all kind of hitting together. That's okay, because I can adjust the curves to kind of like make it and kind of have a nice offset to it. So I'm not super worried about timing. I'm not super worried about a lot of things. It's just, this is the blockout sequence, or blockout phase. Yeah. So here's my silly little animation. So the thought is, it drops on the table, and the kind of like the weight kind of like pulls it off, and it just kind of like slithers down the spline and off the edge of the table. So that's my concept. It's pretty silly. All right. All right, so here's a little trick. Well, I don't know if it's a trick. Here's something you can do if you're not aware of it, that is. And that's completely screw up your UI by pulling things out of place. Arrgh. I wish I could like lock things into place and not have to worry about pulling things apart. Let's reset that. All right, so back to my F curve. So here's the thing. So I want this to fall, and that's falling on the Y. So here it is. But I want it to like ease in and then accelerate. Right now it's just kind of even. So I'm gonna change my curve here, so it's a little bit slower of an ease in. So it's going to ease in and just continue to go until it hits the ground. But it's not easing in enough for me. Like I want it to be a lot slower as it kind of like slowly starts to pull and gain momentum, because it's, you know, it's, if you've ever seen something slide off the edge of something, a table, it'll slowly start, the weight slowly starts to pull, and as the weight goes over the edge, it gets heavier and heavier, and it starts pulling the chain or the rope or the whatever faster and faster. So something that you can do is you can select a tangent and go over here, and this is your weight. You can click on weight. Now you have access to the weight, and I can actually stretch this out and make it longer. I might want to break my tangent and have it only go in one direction. And I can play with this however I want, just so you can see exactly what's going on here. Not quite picking up the speed like I'm hoping. It's getting there. I don't need another keyframe here. Wait, is this just going forward? Ah, I'm doing the wrong tangent. No wonder it's not working like I was expecting. Which one do I need? Is it this one? Is this one? Ah, that's right, because I rotated this. It's parented to that, and I rotated it. So yes, that's why. So it's working off of the local of the parent, not world. All right, let's try that again. I was wondering why it wasn't doing what why are you not working? All right, so there we go. Now we're starting to get the look. You can see it's having more of that ease in and acceleration. Break a few things here. Yeah, there we go. That's more like it. Probably not enough of it actually hanging over the edge of the table to justify it actually getting pulled off the table. But who cares? It's just for fun. So now how do we make it hit the... I mean, I never thought about it hitting the second floor. But what if we want to make it hit the second floor? Or the second floor. The floor underneath the table. What if we wanted to hit the floor underneath the table? Well, let's bring it all the way down. I think what we'd have to do is we'd have to get those other control nodes to actually catch up to it. So how can we do this? Let's see what happens if I start moving this around. Oh, not that. Or this. This will be one of those sleight of hand, gotta move quickly kind of deals. Oh, I need that last key. I think I get those into place really fast. By having these spread out, it's putting tension on the spline. And basically I'm just gonna get these into place the best I can, as quickly as I can, without destroying the shape of the chain. So I think you get the point. And then you just keep animating from there. But I kind of want to show how cool it is to kind of like snake something through Spline IK. That's part of the purpose of this in particular exercise, is being able to see. So something that you can do is really cool is you can have like a tentacle. You have your spline set up to go around a corner or something with the tentacle, and then just quickly have that tentacle come out and snag or attack or strike, whatever. Or maybe you have some vines that need to like kind of come up and grow around something. You could build a bunch of these out with a bunch of control nodes and and kind of create a cool form, and then just taking that very top node, which in this case it would be this one, have it way down low, so it's like pulling the chain or pulling the everything down really far, and then all you're doing is animating it up, and you'll see your object snake around something. It's kind of cool. You know, if you have morph targets, you could probably have kind of a cool you take your morph target of like your whatever, your spike, your tentacle, your root, whatever, and you can have two states. You have the fully extended and the fully collapsed into just like a little disc, and have it just using a morph target. You can like slide it, and it will like slide up the chain of bones while you're animating the bones along a spline. That'd be kind of cool too, or at least in my head it works. I don't know. I haven't tried it in a really long time, and I haven't tried it in Motionbuilder. I've done that in other packages like 3D Max and Maya, but I'm sure if it works in Max and Maya, I'm sure it works in Motionbuilder. So I'm not done yet because I had a crazy thought, and now my tutorial's over. So if y'all want to click end and go do something more fun than watch me, cool. If not, thank you for sticking with me. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try physics. What happens if I attach physics to the chain? All right, let's try this. I want to go all the way back to the very beginning. Let's hide this. Oh, actually, let's look at this without all the nodes one last time. Whoop. There we go. All right, so let's try an experiment now. I love experimenting. That's one of my favorite things to do. And I encourage everybody to just experiment. If you have an idea, go for it. Let's try attaching some physics and make this work. So let's unhide this. There we go. I'm going to delete all the keys. Oh, here is a really cool trick. So I discovered this. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. So if you go to Navigator, you can go to your take. Where is it? Take. If you right click on your take, like say selected takes, you can't do it here, I don't think. No, you can't do it here. You click on the top level of Oh, here, let me hide my head. So you go to takes. You can't do it by selecting the take and right clicking, but you can click on the main takes and you would see a list of all your takes right here. You can click on a take and say empty. And let me select some of this stuff so you can see what happens. I got all these keys here. Empty. Are you sure I want to do this? Yes. I now have 0 animations or zero keys in my timeline. That's kind of an easy way to say blow away everything that's in that take. So empty take. Right click, empty, empty take. All right, so how shall we do this? All right, so in order for physics to work, physics has to work off of geo, because geo has mass and whatever. So I'm going to go to my primitives. I'm going to grab some polyspheres. So I have 5 of those, so 5. And get these lined up with these things. Those things are huge. Way too big to work with. So I'm just going to scale these down, and what I want is I want to make these close to the size of the actual chain. Because what it becomes kind of like a ragdoll physics. And we want to get the chain to look like it's hitting on the table and the floor, not just hitting above it or sinking. Or if I made it too small, it'd look like it's like hitting the table and clipping into it. A lot of people call it crashing through the geo, but I've always heard the term clipping. That's one I've always used. So I just make this about chain size. All right, so let's go find some physics. Physics properties. We want these to be rigid bodies. So wonder if I think I can make them all part of the same rigid body. So let's try that. Rigid body, I'm going to select all of them. Just dump, active, good. Let's put in a solver, physics solver, drag that into the scene. Let's see what happens if I click live. And they fall and they hit the floor, just like I expected. All right, I'm going to turn off live. I'm going to hit reset to start, and boom. That will put all the physics right back up to where it's going. All right, so, oh man, I got a viewer. Awesome, got viewers. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create another rigid body for that table. All right, so let's go into physics, rigid body, put it onto that table, which is a piece of geo. Oh, got to turn this off. Turn off my physics solver. All right, so rigid body, drag that over there. This one, if I click active now, that table will fall to the ground. I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to set that from active to passive. So if I hit it now, let's see what happens. Oh, nope, that's the system. Online, let's see, live, go live. one falls off. But that's the one I wanted to fall off anyway, right? So click that, reset to start. Sweet. I'm excited. I hope this works. I'll be so amazed. Let's go to my constraints. I'm going to add 5 more constraints. I'm going to insert a folder first. Oh, let's click that offline. Insert a folder. Rename that physics. All right. Parent child. Oh, you know, something I totally forgot to mention, but now that I'm thinking about it, I think I should mention it before I continue my physics, challenge. Something that you can do with this is you can actually rotate these. But if you notice, these are actually rotating in the opposite direction. So if I go over to my Spline IK and setup, I can actually say reverse twist right there. Now if I select this, it's twisting correctly. You also have a lot, like I said, you have a lot of control over how it twists. And from what section, like do you want it to twist above it, to below it, or throughout the entirety of the chain? So that's where this comes in: cubic, segment, linear, ease in, ease out, those sorts of things. Cubic is default and it seems to work pretty good, but I encourage you to experiment and see how those work out for you. All right, so now they got my twist fixed. Oh yeah, okay, so parent-child constraints. All right, I'll forego the renaming of this right now because I just want to get this done quickly. So this would be the parent, and that would be the child. This would be the parent, child, parent, child, parent, child, and last but not least, parent and child. Sweet. I'm going to drag all these up into my physics folder, which just allows me to do what? Pop quiz, boys and girls. Snap all, and then lock all at one time, and not have to deal with those pesky offsets. All right, moment of truth. Let's see if this, let's do a little test. Let's see if this actually moves this around. It does. All right, so my physics spheres look like they might be moving it around. So I'm going to hide this. I'm going to hit Control A. That's going to, why is my Control A, why is it not working? Shift. There it goes. That was strange. All right. Now, I always think I go slow at this point in time because I'm actually thinking a lot about what I'm doing, and I just realized the chat is in the wrong space. So let me two. There we go. Oh, you can see it a little bit better. So my brain is crossing the T's and dotting the I's. And let's see what happens if I hit live. Ooh, close. Pretty close. I think this one right here needs to hit closer to the edge of the table. So let's figure that out. we go. It just drags everything off with it. It kind of worked. Reset to start. Let's hide everything. Hide these. Oh, not play. Silly. All right. Not too bad. I mean, not great, but not too bad. I bet I could add some friction or something to like that sphere so it doesn't like roll all over the place. Let's try that again. Oh, it's not working because I have them selected. I think because I had it turned on and this was a physics object, this actually moved back. I think I made a mistake. Yeah. So my shadow is not moving with my box. Where's my cube? There's my cube. Where's my shadow? There's my shadow. Take my shadow, parent to the cube. There we go. Let's try this again. Heh. Well, it's kind of doing it, right? I mean, it's not giving quite that same cool effect of like hitting, dangling, and like then dropping, but I think the point comes across. You can kind of add physics to a Spline IK and make it work. So, once you're happy with your animation, let's say I liked this for some reason. Set to start. I don't, but let's say I did. What you can do, you can come in here. You would select, you know, I guess I should just bake this down, right? So let's do that. Let's select these. Oh, wait. Yeah, I'm going to select those. I'm going to go to key controls, say animation. Oh, wait. Go to my F curves first and select translation and rotation. Animation controls, plot selected, selected properties. Plot. All right, so let's put some keys on there. Thinking about this real quick. All right, so then what I can do is I can go back to my navigator. I'm going to turn off my Spline IK because I don't want it to affect my. So if I unhide it, you can see my Spline IK is still up there, but because I baked it down, I baked down the. This is my test. I'm testing it. Now I want the final animation, so what I would do is I would then grab my chain that I would export to game or whatever app I'm using that I need to put this into, and I kind of I do the same thing. I say animation, F curves first, select translation rotation. Probably only need rotation. Probably only need translation on the root and then rotation on the rest of it, but I'll just do translation rotation anyway. So I'm going to select both of these and go to animation, plot selected, selected properties. Seems okay. There you go. Go back over to my navigator and go to my chain and unactivate. And you can see, let's unhide this. Yeah, so then it's working. I'm going to double check by grabbing my locator and just moving it out here somewhere. Yeah, it works. And there you go. That's how you get the Spline IK, whether you've hand keyed it or whether you've added physics. If I hand keyed it, then I'd probably skip the step of baking this down first. If I hand keyed just using these nodes, I think what I'd probably do is I just go straight to the main skeleton and I would just plot straight down. But whenever I work with physics, I always get a little, cautious because physics can blow up in your face. And so anyway, there you go. That is my tutorial. I feel like I had a lot more energy this stream, but my last few streams way back when I was just so dog tired with all the work I had been doing that. But I'm telling you, working from home, I love working from home. I'm so thankful to the company I work for sending us all home and saying, take your work machines with you and work. And it's saved me a ton of money on gas and toll bills and for the tollway, and just it's given me more energy in the evenings, and just I love it. It's great. So anyway, thank you all for joining me, and I hope this tutorial helps. Again, if you haven't already, hit follow. I appreciate it. If you are super awesome, then I appreciate the subscribes. Maybe one day I'll actually make a little money off of Twitch. Who knows? Never know. If not, if you want to watch any of my other tutorials, go ahead and head over to my YouTube channel and follow me there, or subscribe. I guess YouTube is subscribe, and you can see all my tutorials. I'm going to try to get back into the swing of things. Like I said, I'm coming off of a big crunch of Predator Hunting Grounds. I'm super excited about the game. I hope you all go check it out. There's a lot of streamers here on Twitch that streamed our test weekend last weekend live, and man, I had a blast just watching everybody get in there and have fun. And it's so exciting. It's one of the greatest feelings, is to do something and then put it out there into the world and watch people enjoy it. Yeah, there's haters. There's people who gripe and complain, but you're always going to have haters are going to hate, right? But I'd say overwhelmingly, it seemed like a lot of people really liked it, and it makes all of us devs feel so good when we hear that feedback, because we really work hard to entertain. We really do. All right, so I guess that is that, and I will catch you all next time.